The saga of making the movie was as full of drama and thrills and chills and excitement as the movie themselves. Keanu and Carrie and Jada, Lawrence Hugo, I mean, they really worked hard.
Can I take your... Oh, my God.
I had such anxiety when I walked onto the set. It reminded me of when Keanu and I did the government lobby. Just the idea of the squibs and the explosions and the pressure to get it. I was just like, whew.
This way?
Yeah. The boys were very specific. This is a big old heavy ship, so you gotta look like you're really turning this thing and you're trying to turn it fast and whew, we were really sweating.
They're not interested in just spectacle. They put the camera in places that you generally never put it. Longer takes, different angles that you don't usually see, longer fight sequences, and it's much more difficult to do. And what happens then, if you do get it, it's like it's really happening.
Good. Are you okay?
Okay, everyone.
Oh, I thought he was saying my head.
Diving. I have to kick this guy and he goes through the wall. And every time I did the kick, I had my eyes closed until they said he was okay. Because I was so afraid he was just gonna like get a concussion or hurt himself or, oh, that was so crazy. Those guys are crazy. I never knew stuntmen until this film, and stuntmen and stuntwomen are very, very special people. They're like kids.
I'm always surprised by the shots that they can come up with. Each time they surprise us with a new angle, a new type of shot.
It's one of those films that's really in the imagination of the directors, really. It's in their heads. But once you kind of get into their heads, they can make that journey too.
It just evolves, you know? It's just, you have the idea and you proceed with it. It evolves into another idea. You proceed with it. It evolves into another idea. You don't know until the day you show up. Oftentimes it's Larry with a finder and Andrew at the monitor. And they find the scene. Well, should we put the camera here? Should we put it here? Should we put it there? It's been great to be a part of that creative process with them.
Cut.
The amount of sets and the amount of setups and the amount of units shooting at one time, it was mind-boggling.
It takes an army of people doing the conceptual drawings, the storyboards, physically building those things, painting them. Larry and Andy and Bill Pope standing on that set and directing and photographing the actors. And then add to it visual effects.
What's a pod-born pencil neck like you doing volunteering for my corps?
I want to do my part, sir. We gotta hold the dock.
How old are you, kid?
18.
Should have said 16. I might have believed that.
Machines don't care how old I am. They'll kill me just the same.
The siege is where all the bruises came from, and it's gonna be well worth every bruise.
Siege is the climactic confrontation between man and machine in the tradition of Jeff Darrow.
It would be very, very, very dense frame.
Jeff Darrow established a lot of the design with these massive drawings where every single bolt was detailed and every bit of rust had a line. The challenge of making that into the Siege was massive.
It's really an epic sequence. I mean, it is just huge. It uses everything that a filmmaker has at his disposal to create something gigantic. Full of live action photography, integrated with CGI photography, integrated with miniature work.
The amount of art and technology that's had to come together in such a short period of time is pretty much second to none.
You have to get everybody together, work it out. First it comes from the brothers, then it goes to Owen, and then it goes to John, and it comes to me, and we just slowly hammer it out. What does it really look like? What does it look like finally on celluloid?
We're standing on the dock set at the moment, and you can see all these fantastic sentinels. Larry and Andy like to have some physical set into which to place a visual effect.
It's something that could not have been done ever until right now.
Getting the scene even initiated, visual effects-wise, was like climbing over a glacial mountain.
300 shots. It's a 17-minute sequence that cost more than most movies that have been made.
100,000 gigabytes of disk storage.
Companies on 3 different continents, having 1,000 employees.
So many hundreds of crafts all working together.
My name is Lyndon Barwa, and I am the animation supervisor.
I'm Dan Glass. I'm one of the visual effects supervisors.
My name is Scott Kravitz.
Visual effects supervisor.
Visual effects technology supervisor.
Animation supervisor.
Character setup artist.
Head of R&D.
Color and lighting TD.
My name's Alistair McLeod. I'm
technical director.
What am I?
I worked on the hair tool.
Randy, like animator.
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 The
animation.
Lead animator on the Siege.
The scene has been drawn, visualized, discussed, tested for a solid 2 years now.
It was extraordinary just looking at that animation, you know, and that was just a rough idea of what was going to happen.
They prevised this entire sequence. So more often than not, we use the previs as the Bible.
They had this amazing APU and all its accoutrements.
Which is essentially a robot that they sit in the seat of.
Again, it came from a drawing that Jeff did. It was a huge effort to kind of construct that.
One of my great pleasures was to show them one of these drawings. As soon as they started laughing, I knew I did what they wanted.
10 tons of metal, he could make it shoot all over the place.
So the other part of the set that was made was a human carriage. It's got all these fantastically dramatic moves, which are all run off the animation cycle that John Gator's team at Escape have worked out.
As an animator, you actually got to drive those performances beforehand. So those performances are already tailored to an action that you've developed.
It was like being in the ultimate PlayStation game, you know? You were actually in the game, to be in there shooting down these bad guys and being the last man standing.
So it's been all of these people that go together, put all these bits and pieces together. Eventually you get an APU standing there.